Okay, OKC win the finals. Congrats to them. Congrats to OKC fans. Admittingly, this is one of the more awkward post-game reactions I've done because, listen, man, they did it. Like, I want to give them their flowers. They deserve a lot of flowers for this fantastic season that they've had. And they won this game doing what they've been doing to teams all season, creating a massive amount of turnovers. But, I mean, we all know what happened with Halliburton in this game. And hopefully I never see the replay of it again because, man, I saw it a lot by ESPN tonight. Yeah, you talk about just such a deflating feeling, especially with how aggressive he was looking early on as a shooter, where two of those threes were super deep. And we can all hope the most we can for not the worst possible news when we find out the details of that injury. Yeah, just a deflating feeling. I'm going to use that word again. But look, I mean, basically everybody picked OKC to win this series. Let's not act like they could not have done this if Halliburton played this whole game. Of course they could have. And so whatever reaction you want to have for this Game 7, I mean, hey man, you do you. As far as the story of this game, so once Halliburton went down, it became a question of, okay, so can the Pacers generate enough offense? And for that first half, between Mathurin taking SGA on an ISO for a three, or Miles Turner finally making at least one pick and pop three, because his three-point shooting has been rough this series especially, or Nembhard, tough three over Chet, driving at Chet in a straight line after Chet kind of switches onto him. Chet did have a fantastic game overall in this one, especially in the second half. And even as his offense waned throughout this series, the defense was always rock solid, whether it was in the paint or outside of it. But okay, you get that. You get, Siakam able to score at least sometimes when he's got to switch, like a smaller guy on him, but still OKC makes that very, very tough. And then we had a first half where SGA, he just had to make a bunch of tough shots and ISOs pretty much, because whenever they put multiple bodies on him, and he was spraying out to guys, they were mostly missing threes, right? But then in the second half, SGA, he stuck with it, and even though he did not shoot well for this game overall, it felt like that was more so in the second half, the misses, but this was a really great passing game from SGA, where it wasn't just like making the obvious pass, it was taking an extra dribble, or hell, even going up with his shot and then making the kick out, whether it's to Chet or J-Dub, or snaking the screen and then picking the ball up and then finding Ihart or Chet to roll to the basket, things that he has struggled with at times this series. Like, even as he's been a scorer throughout this whole series, the Pacers have done at times a great job. He had 8 turnovers in the last one, whatever it was, of the extra bodies coming and him just not always doing the best job of catching the open guy in time, stuff like that. He was really, really good with that stuff tonight. There were also some moments of Caruso's threes early where Lou Dort's in the dunker spot, or he's cutting at the same time as an SGA screen or whatever. Also, that one Lou Dort off-balance deep three was insanity. And then, in the third quarter, the second half, it was just the turnovers. As OKC does, they switch, they get physical, they bring help, they swipe and deflect and the whole thing. Yeah, TJ did have his personal run of just getting downhill. Mathurin came alive in the fourth quarter a little bit there. They're driving a Caruso or whatever. They did also force TJ into a good amount of turnovers. The one where Ihart was super high up, on the double team, is the one I'll remember the most. 7 turnovers for TJ, where eventually he's driving and then he's seeing 2 or 3 bodies in the paint and he's just looking around for, can I pass this out to anybody? Now, if I can say with Carlisle, obviously Carlisle knows more about basketball than I could ever imagine knowing. Siakam playing 37 minutes tonight, that is just not enough. Yeah, look, man, we can say all the nice things about OKC, or at least I will, and then we can also acknowledge, yeah, man, they lost Halliburton 5 minutes into the game. It still, again, would have been totally fair to pick OKC to win this game. Them winning this game with Hallie fully healthy would have not shocked anybody. And also, even if the Pacers would have actually pulled off this win with Halliburton, it would have been a super nail-biter to the end. But yeah, man, it was a good season. And look, for this Pacer team, I probably took a little too long to get to this. Just what a run. They were a hell of a time to watch. They have struck fear into the fan base of every Eastern Conference team that is going to have to worry about him over the next however many seasons, although we will again see with Halliburton. I just thought about that again. I forgot about it for a couple minutes there as I was saying nice things about OKC, and now I'm back to hoping the best for him. So that's it, man. I don't really know how to end the video. I haven't seen it. I'm assuming SGA wins Finals MVP. We already kind of got a jump start in the offseason with the KD trade earlier, and I did say a bit about this with OKC when they won the conference finals, so I'll just say the fact that they did all this while being the beneficiaries of the all-in trade with the Clippers, and then mostly doing it through the draft, and the moves they make are trade for Caruso, sign Ihart, to where they still have just their massive treasure chest of picks and their team's going to keep on getting better, the whole thing. Yeah, it's like a dream situation you could line up for a team. Sure, the finances are about to become a bit more interesting because SGA, Chet, and J-Dub all have extensions coming in not too much time here. And they have set the bar for the Western Conference, and that's why all these teams are just in all these rumors. That's why the Wolves are in KD rumors. I don't know how real it ever really got, but it was a thing that we could read about. The Rockets get KD. The Lakers are going to do probably more than one thing that generates a lot of discussion this offseason. The Warriors would love to get somebody. Anyway, congrats to them, man. And then we always have the kind of funny sort of, the season just ended, try to wrap this up in some sentimental way. Oh, by the way, the draft is in like 3 days. I mean, the content never really stops with the NBA. I mean, I suppose it does slow down quite a bit in like September. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking with me for another playoffs, and we'll keep on keeping on.